This episode is brought to you by Wisconsin Cheese. We've been making cheese in Wisconsin since before we were even a state, which may be one reason why we win so many awards for it. It's what happens when a whole state dreams in cheese. Find your next favorite cheese at wisconsincheese.com.
You're listening to Heritage Radio Network.
Welcome to the Grape Nation, your weekly wine journey. This week we are at the Union Grand Cru Bordeaux tasting in New York City. We'll talk to 5 winemakers about their wines in the 2022 vintage. I'm your host, Sam Ben-Ruby. Stay with us for the Grape Nation on the Heritage Radio Network. We bring wine to the people. For the third year in a row, we attended the annual Union Grand Cru Bordeaux tasting in New York City this past January. Over 125 wineries attended and poured their current releases, and we talked and tasted the 2022 vintage, discussing climate, their challenges from the vintage, farming practices, sustainability, aging, drinkability of the wines, and a lot more. This was a large, loud, boisterous tasting attended by some of the best chateau in Bordeaux. So excuse all the noise and some of the audio quality. In this order, we spoke with Xavier Serran of Chateau Valandreau in the Saint-Emilion, Clara Lacam from Rouse-en-Seigle in Margaux, Coralie Bernard from Chateau Girard in Sauternes, Lillian Barton Sartorius from Chateau Leoville Barton in St. Julien, and Count Stefan van Nieperg from Chateau La Gauflière in Saint-Emilion. I'm with Xavier Serran from Chateau Valandreau. Talk to me about the 22 vintage. Can you discuss this vintage?
Yes, of course. It's probably one of the best vintage produced in Bordeaux since many years. I was thinking 2020 was the best, but probably 2022 will be the best.
So 2 years later.
Yeah.
Last year wasn't so great. So
because we have incredible purity in the fruit and nice concentration, and in the same time an incredible natural acidity coming from the limestone from the property Chateau Valandreau, who manage perfectly well the balance. So the mix.
Limestone soils.
Yeah, a lot of limestone and
Higher vintage.
yeah.
And what about temperature?
Temperature was warm, but this natural acidity managed perfectly well this alcohol level. So this is 2 magic points to have an incredible potential of aging, alcohol and acidity.
Did you experience any challenges in Saint-Emilion versus, the rest of Bordeaux, or it went pretty smoothly?
No. Are you speaking about the hot summer? Or? Yeah.
Just say
no.
anything.
We can see the vine have an incredible structure against this hot temperature. The proof is the vintage 2022.
All right, so tell me about the blend.
The blend, Chateau Valandreau, it's made with 85% of Merlot and then 8 Cabernet Franc and 7 Cabernet Sauvignon.
Okay. Is that typical every year, up and down a little?
No, up and down about the Cabernet, but roughly it's 80 to 85 and 20 or 15 Cab
Let
Franc.
the vintage dictate the blend, right?
Yeah, exactly, yes.
However, now drinkability, are you comfortable drinking it out of the bottle?
Yes.
In the market, it doesn't need to sit in the bottle, it's fine.
It is fine.
And then ageability, we don't have to talk.
About what?
Ageability.
Ageability, huge.
Yeah. So, tell me about farming practices. Do you have any eye towards sustainability, organic?
Yes, we have some.
Tell me what you do out there.
I think the most dangerous in the wine It's the alcohol. This is my answer.
Right. In what sense? You don't want the alcohol to be too high, right?
Yeah,
All right, can we taste it?
sure.
And just do a quick evaluation? So it's deep, dark brooding.
Is it after this event we went last year?
Xavier, what do we get on the nose?
Purity of the fruit, intensity. Yeah.
It's a very rich
It is,
mouthfeel.
yeah.
Not overly.
No.
And then on the palate, similar to the nose.
Yes.
So I pick up a little oak. Tell me about your oak treatment.
It's 100%. It's aged 100% new oak for 24 months.
Okay.
Yeah.
24 months on
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
All right, that's Xavier Serum from Chateau Valendraud. Thank you for
No, my pleasure. Thank you.
taking
Enjoy.
your time. I took longer, but thank you.
Thank you.
I'm at the Bordeaux 22 tasting. I'm with Clara Lecomte from Ralph
Yeah.
and I want to talk to you about your wines of the 22 vintage. So first of all, tell me about the 22 vintage.
It was a very, very great vintage.
Okay.
Yes. Quite.
Because the previous vintage was difficult, right? 21.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Quite difficult, but good also. But this
So
one is
climate-wise, that's what made it.
quite warm. 22 vintage. Yeah, warm. Yeah, warm. But we are very happy with the results. We have 72% of Cabernet Sauvignon, 26 of Merlot, and 2% of Petit Verdot. So we have more Cabernet Sauvignon than previous years.
So I was going to ask, is that a typical blend?
It's
Because of this vintage, you went with more Cabernet.
Yeah, we have more Cabernet. Yeah.
All right. Any other highlights of the vintage? So great weather, good climate, anything
Yeah.
else?
So it's
You picked at normal time.
yeah, normal time. Yeah.
All right. Any challenges that you had to go up
Quite
against?
challenges because we were in organic commission in this year, so we are organic since this vintage, the 24 vintage. So we were in organic commission in 2022.
Right.
So it was quite challenging. Yeah.
Right. So this
Since
is your first declared organic vintage that you're certified.
24, yes.
Right.
Yeah.
And Rausan Segle is the Wertheimer family. Is that who owns these wineries?
It's a family since 1994.
Okay.
It's a channel group.
Right.
Yes.
So farming practices organic. Obviously, you were just certified, but you've been farming organic for years.
Yeah, sure.
You know,
Since
because you just
2018.
don't turn a switch on.
Yeah, no. We were in organic since 2018, but we decided to certify it in 2021.
All right, so let's taste it while I'm standing
sure.
here. Give me a little pour. So this is a predominantly Cabernet wine. Tell me about some of the characteristics.
You have lots of fruits. It's very fresh. Even if the year was very warm, you have a lot of freshness in the wine. It's very structured, very strong.
So, what about ageability? What about drinking
You,
it now? Is
yeah,
it
you
okay
can
to
wait.
drink now?
Yeah, you
Is
can.
it one of those wines that you're better off putting it away?
If you want, you can drink now, but you can wait many years also. Yeah.
With all that Cabernet.
Yeah, sure.
Set up.
Yes.
All right. Well, thank you,
You're
Clara,
welcome.
for talking to us about your wine.
You're welcome.
We harvest maybe 5 to 6 days after the other region of Bordeaux, and because of that, the maturity was perfect for us. I really think 22 Red, it's on the top 3 best red we made at the chateau. It's a good
I was going to
challenger.
ask you how it compared to fairly recent vintages.
It's a
You're
good
talking
challenger
about
for
being one
05
of the
and 18. Really, I think.
really. So climate was good, dry. I mean,
Dry, a little bit warm, not so dry, but very warm. We miss a little bit of water, of rain at the beginning of September, but finally everything was good. Not a big quantity, but a very perfect maturity and a very perfect
why not big
quality.
quantity?
We-
What
we-
affects?
Because of the warm vintage, we lose some grape because of the
Really?
dry summer.
So the challenges you faced were a little warm, and you had
The
a.
global warming. That's
Now,
the
what do
challenge.
you do? Do you cut back, or
We have nothing to do really,
just-
but we have to prepare a bit more the vineyard before to be ready against the warm and dry summer.
right? All right. So tell me about the blend.
So the blend of the red, it's 60% Cabernet Sauvignon, 30% Merlot, and in between 5% Petit Verdot and 5% Cabernet Franc for the freshness.
Is that a traditional blend?
Yes.
You tweak it a little every year.
Exactly.
It falls within that.
It's
Cabernet
always like that.
dominated.
Yes.
And all of that. Now, drinkability. You're comfortable drinking it
It's
now,
the style
or
of the Domaine de Chevalier is very easy to appreciate faster because we are not on the extraction part, we are on the respect of the fruits. That's the style of Domaine de Chevalier, and because of that, it's very drinkable. But really, I can promise you, the wine will be incredible in 20 years.
ageability.
Yes.
Drink it now, enjoy it, put it away, and enjoy it. It'll only get better. Tell me about your farming practices a little. I mean, any efforts towards sustainability? What are you doing out there?
We try to be to respect a lot the vineyard. So we are
Every year the main variety is Cabernet Franc.
respect in HVAs or environment. Respect. We try to respect
We are
all the treatments against the disease. But you have to make the best wine possible. And to do that, we have to do the right thing at the right moment.
Right.
You have to think every day,
Thoughtfulness.
yes, what we have to do.
Maybe less.
I'm glad to hear that. All right, taste
But we
the
have
wine
nothing in
with me.
common.
So it's got a beautiful, deep, dark purple.
Dark purple color, very, very deep.
We are neighbor. We are
And
2
the
minutes by car.
first test is the acidity, the freshness. That's the magic of
Exactly.
everything is good.
Mouthfeel is beautiful. It's not too overpowering.
Exactly. 14 alcohol,
14%?
yes.
Oh, so that's
It's a magical
comfortable.
vintage.
But you don't feel the 14%.
No.
Where is the
Feel the
magic?
freshness.
Because we
What
had
do you get on the nose?
it was a
The
pretty
nose is
extreme
very dark.
because
dark
we had
fruits.
a few
It's
episodes of
red fruits, 30%
and a
Merlot,
little
but
bit of
you have very
three
famous
months.
red fruits on the nose in the beginning.
And finally, we
And
saw
you
that
just smell a little bit of mint.
the vines were really high.
A lot of
The choices
a lot of mint is showing up in this vineyard around the room, right? Which I like. All right, one last sip. All right, that's Hugo Bernard from Domaine de Chevalier. I'm not going to hide the fact that it's one of my favorite wineries. Thank you for talking to us. We'll see you next year. Thank you, Hugo.
This episode is brought to you by Wisconsin Cheese. There's a reason when you think of Wisconsin, you think cheese. Cheese is a huge part of Wisconsin's history and future. In Wisconsin, the state of cheese, the tradition of cheese-making excellence began 180 years ago, before Wisconsin was recognized as a state. Immigrants traveled to settle in this lush green hills of Wisconsin, bringing their cheese-making traditions with them. These storied skills, combined with the freshest milk available, created a cheese-making culture that is uniquely Wisconsin. Wisconsin's 1,200 cheesemakers, many of whom are third and fourth generation, continue to pass on old world traditions while adopting modern innovations in cheese-making craftsmanship. Find your next favorite cheese at wisconsincheese.com.
So let's talk about the 2022 Leo Barton. Tell me about the blend.
Oh, the blend, which I always forget, but I will tell you immediately if I have my
I like that
glasses.
you forget, which means
Completely.
it varies every year.
It changes every year, and it's not our preoccupation.
No, but the change is dictated by the vintage.
Yes, exactly. So it's
You're not preoccupied with the blend.
not at all.
You're preoccupied with what you need to do that year.
We're preoccupied with having the right grapes with the right rootstock in the right place,
Right.
and then doing the right blend. The rest is not our problem.
Drinkability. Are you happy about drinking it out of the bottle?
on release,
I-
or is it one of the wines that you ask people?
I think it's already very charming to drink.
Okay,
It will be better in a few years.
okay. Well, I think all these wines are better in a few years, but some of them, need a little bottle age. You could drink this out of the bottle. So
For the moment, it's an early drinking vintage, but
it blows up,
and that I wouldn't like to predict.
and we're not worried about ageability. These wines are made to age, right?
It's got the acidity and the balance to keep forever.
So the 2022 vintage you liked, it was dry, it was warm. You had to manage some of the alcohol. Tell me about your farming practices. Do you have an eye towards sustainability?
But very much. But the only big difference is that we've been doing it for 40 years.
Doing what?
No weed killer, using natural fertilizer, using very little water, selective spraying. And what amuses me more is when people say, "Oh, and we've planted trees and bushes," but I said we never cut ours. We've got our trees that are 300 years old.
You've been walking the walk for a long time.
Exactly.
Whether you don't worry about labels, organic, this, that.
No.
You worry about doing the right thing. Right?
Exactly.
And you've been doing it a long time.
Yeah.
All right, will you just taste this with me for a second?
Yes.
So, color, beautiful, deep dark.
Lovely color this year.
What was the alcohol on this?
14.
Okay, what's
So
nice.
it's not excessive.
What do you get on the palate?
I get a lot of red fruit and some black fruit as well.
Now, is that replicated in the nose?
Yes.
On the nose, you
Yeah,
get
definitely.
anything else?
A few white flowers as well, actually.
So the mouthfeel is sort of a medium plus.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not thin wine and it's not overly unctuous.
No.
It feels really nice in the
Yeah,
mouth.
that's because we were very careful on the extraction in the cellar.
Right.
Yeah.
And it shows. All right, that's Lillian Bartone Sartorius. We're talking to her about her wines like Gorilla Wine, and we just tasted the Chateau
Lily Bartone.
Always a great wine. It's a treat to talk to you. Continued success. Fingers crossed that all the vintages ahead are similar to this. Thank you, Lillian.
Thank you very much.
So, great vintage. Very satisfying. You relate it back to older vintages.
Yeah, but
61.
that is my job.
No, I know. What if you compare this vintage to recent vintages? Certainly last year was a challenge.
That is between 909 and 20.
Okay. Any particular challenges in your vineyard or region?
I think we are happy to be organic for 30 years.
Okay,
so we
let's
have no
talk
stress.
about your
We
farming.
have no stress.
You've been organic over 30 years. I should know the answer to this. Did you ever certify, or that doesn't matter if you're certified?
We are certified, but we are certified for only 15 years or
Yeah,
20 years.
that's fine.
But it's only my staff that
You
want to
can't turn a switch on and become organic. So.
Yeah, my staff want to be certified. For me, it's I'm certified, but I'm egoist. I don't want that. My children told me one day I destroy the soil,
Right.
so I'm egoist.
Plus, you don't want them running around in the vineyards. That's not, farm property. Same thing for you.
Yeah, and we have to bring life in our soil. Microorganisms, we need compost. If you have compost, we have one day of life in the soil. If you have life in the soil, we have life in the fruits, and if you have life in the fruits, we will have life in the wine. If not, it will the wine they're dead, they're
Do
destroyed.
you think Bordeaux, in general, all the regions, are doing a good job paying attention towards moving towards organics?
I think that they pay more and more, but it's very tricky in Bordeaux. We are Aquitaine. Aquitaine is coming from aqua, that means water.
It's harder.
It's harder. It's
you
much
take the easier
much easier to be organic in Burgundy or in Germany or in Spain. Bordeaux is challenging. Bordeaux, you have to be professional.
I know that. That's
You know
why
the-
it's slower.
Yeah, the hat, the straw hat, and this, but it's not possible. You have to be very professional.
Tell me about out of the bottle. Is this a drinkable wine? Do you worry if people open the 22 and they drink it
Too early?
Yeah, is it good out of
Yeah,
the
but
bottle?
I think I know
feel
that
good about it.
I know that 90% of our wines are drinking too early.
And ageability?
But it's good.
I mean,
But the wine is good before, and if they're happy, it's okay for me.
Okay, I'm going to ask you a question. I know a lot about wine, but I'm a little gullible sometimes. Cabernet Franc, when it's the predominant blend, does that age as well as, let's say, there's no issue with
Outstanding. The Cabernet Franc have a possibility to age. You know, the seed, the Cabernet Franc, the moment is in the beginning, it's not like that. It's very profound, and the development in the time, it's more and more spice and flower. So the Cabernet Franc is really something very special, and you need in the Cabernet Franc, you need Marsal selection. Never buy clones.
All right, can we just taste it together quickly? So beautiful, dark. Stefan, what do we get on the nose?
Spice and flower.
What kind of flower?
The violet.
And then the mouthfeel is beautiful.
Very, very bright, very profound, very elegant. Ladies first.
And on the palate, similar to the nose.
Similar,
Get a little bit of
yeah.
spice
But the
on the
palate is the profoundness you're looking for, and the integration of the tannins.
All right, that's Stefan von Nieperk from Chateau Canon Le Gaffalier, another favorite of mine. Continued success. Congrats on the vintage. We'll see you next year.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
If you have a question, suggestion, wine happening, or event, hit me up at sam@thegrapenation.com. That's sam@thegrapenation.com. Listen to the Grape Nation podcast on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, Google Podcasts, or wherever you get your pods. Please subscribe to the Grape Nation and leave a review if you like the podcast. Follow us on Instagram at sbenruby and on X at benruby. You can always use the hashtag The Grape Nation to find us on both. We are on Facebook at The Grape Nation. I want to thank Chateau Valandreau, Rauzan Segler, Chateau Girard, Chateau Leoville Barton, and Chateau La Gaffalière for speaking with us on the 22 vintage. Thank you to our engineer Armin and everyone at the Heritage Radio Network. I'm Sam Ben-Ruby, and you've been listening to The Grape Nation. The Grape Nation is powered by Simplecast. Thanks for listening to Heritage Radio Network. Food radio supported by you. Keep in touch at heritageradionetwork.org/subscribe.